Playing small won't protect your dreams. It will only shrink them. So this is one of the things that I struggle with the most when starting business. It was knowing just how big I should allow myself to dream. How big should my goals be? I remember my superstition used to massively kick in whenever I allowed myself to imagine just what I could achieve and what I could do. And that's when I started telling myself things like, don't jinx it. If you get too confident, it won't happen. Or you need to stay humble. I felt like if I allowed myself to truly believe in what I could achieve, I'd somehow curse my own success. But over time, I also started to see just how damaging to my progress and motivation these sorts of mindsets and thoughts were. It took some serious self-reflection and work to begin to shift my mindset to stop sabotaging my audacious goals and dreams. Because especially as women, we absolutely owe it to ourselves to be audacious in our ambitions. And this does not only apply to starting or running a business, but absolutely anything that you set your mind on in life. So in this video, I want to share with you some of the mindset shifts and actions that have helped me to stop limiting myself and have allowed me to get comfortable with my own audacious ambitions. I'll start with how to recognize and face your self-sabotaging thoughts before going into the 5 actionable steps that will help you step into your boldest, most audacious self. So here's a small preview of what's to come. And if you've ever told yourself to stay humble at the cost of your own goals, share your story in the comments and make sure you save this video for later, because I promise you these are tips you will definitely want to come back to. So let's start with the most important step, recognizing the self-sabotaging thoughts that creep in when you start dreaming big. And it took some serious reflection for me to see that many of these thoughts were coming from a place of fear. Fear of failure, fear of what others might think, and honestly, sometimes just the fear of stepping into my own power. I had to ask myself, why am I so afraid of my own ambition? Why do I believe that there is a limit to how much I'm allowed to want from life? These moments of self-doubt can be subtle whispers that can be very difficult to pinpoint and identify. But if you don't catch these thoughts early, they can very quickly snowball into full-blown limitations. So how do you catch them? Well, first of all, start by becoming aware of the thoughts that pop into your mind, especially when you're thinking about setting big goals. A lot of the time, self-sabotaging thoughts disguise themselves as rational thinking. They'll sound something like, this isn't realistic. You need more experience before you try that. What if other people think that you're being arrogant? After that, the next step is to ask yourself, where is this coming from? Is it fear of failure? Is it fear of judgment? Is it the fear of outgrowing your current situation? Or maybe it's rooted in past experiences where things didn't go as planned. I think for me, I realized that a lot of my self-sabotaging thoughts were actually rooted in childhood beliefs. Things like, stay humble or you'll lose it, or don't get too confident or you'll get knocked down. These beliefs weren't based on reality. They were based on a fear that has been passed down to me. And once I could see the source, it became much easier to separate those fears from my current reality. I began to understand that humility does not mean you can't go after big dreams. It's okay to be both humble and confident. You're allowed to own your talents, your drive, and your ambitions. The world has told us, especially as women, to always downplay our success and not to make too much noise. But if you're working hard, if you have a vision, you should absolutely feel proud of it. And humility is about staying grounded, not about shrinking yourself. So now, every time I feel like I'm getting too confident, I always take a pause and remind myself that ambition is not something to apologize for. Confidence does not mean you stop growing and learning. It means that you trust yourself enough to try. So let's talk about the next step, turning that awareness into action. Because it's one thing to recognize the thoughts that hold you back, but it's another to actually step into your power and start owning those audacious ambitions. So now I'm going to take you through the 5 actionable steps that will help you step into your power. And first on the list is to set dreamy, bold goals. Dream as big as possible. Actually allow yourself to envision what you truly want with no limits and no filters. And if you do this and you ever feel any resistance, just go back to that self-awareness part and try to remember the reasons for your self-doubts and where they originated from. And then quickly put those fears and doubts aside. And don't just dream about what you think is possible. Aim for goals that really stretch your abilities. Next on the list is to chase the impossible. I started using the motto, if your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough. And this has massively helped me to begin chasing dreams that were outside of my current comfort zone. Once you've confronted the boldness of your dreams, don't hesitate. Go after them like it's a done deal. Treat them as inevitable, and you'll start to see that your actions will align with those beliefs. The next tip should not be underestimated, and that's to surround yourself with bold thinkers. And this advice may seem underrated, but it's an absolute game changer. You see, small thinkers will keep your world small. The people that you spend your time with shape your mindset more than you realize, because we unconsciously adapt to the expectations and limits of those around us. So if you're the smartest, most ambitious person in your circle, it might be time to find a new one. You need to be in rooms where the conversations challenge you, where the goals are bigger than yours, and where risk is seen as an opportunity. Spend time with people who think audaciously and take bold risks, because their energy is contagious and their mindset will push you to level up. Surround yourself with those who encourage you to dream bigger, aim higher, and act fearlessly. So the next step on the list is to live on the edge. So what do I mean by that? Well, playing small in life has its place, but true growth only happens when you're willing to take risks that most people wouldn't dream of. And I know firsthand how scary that can be, whether it's something as big as starting a business or something seemingly small like posting a video online for the world to see. It feels vulnerable. It feels like you're putting yourself on the line. But if you want to make real progress and get closer to your goals, you have to be able to bet on yourself. You have to take a leap. One of the biggest mindset shifts for me was starting to redefine what risk means. Because we often associate risk with loss or failure, but that's not always the case. It's about taking calculated risks. That means well thought out moves where the potential rewards far outweigh the downsides. So how do you decide if a risk is worth taking? Well, for me, it's a simple case of weighing the pros and cons of a situation. Ask yourself, what is the best case scenario if I succeed? And how would I handle it? And could I handle it if I did it? If the reward is much greater than the cost of losing, then it's absolutely a risk worth taking. Because at the end of the day, those bold calculated risks are where the real breakthroughs happen. And remember, fortune always favors the bold. The last tip I want to leave you with today is to make your moves in silence. Look, success doesn't always have to be loud, even when you're making audacious moves. In fact, some of the most powerful moves are usually made quietly, behind the scenes. Focus on the long game. Put in the work without feeling the need to share every single detail. You might have heard that, sharing your goals can help you stay accountable. But here's the truth. Research actually shows that the less we disclose about our ambitions, the more likely we are to achieve them. When we announce our goals, our brains can trick us into feeling like we've already done it, which can actually kill our motivation. At the end of the day, your goals are yours alone. You don't owe anyone an explanation for dreaming big or chasing after what sets your soul on fire. So stay a little mysterious, protect your energy, keep your vision close, and build momentum quietly. And to wrap up this video, just remember to stop apologizing for your ambition. Stop downplaying your dreams because of fear. You're allowed to dream big, to go after your audacious goals, and to believe in your success. So, what's next for you? What are you working on? Let me know in the comments because I honestly can't wait to read what you're working on. And as always, if you enjoy this content, make sure to check out one of my other videos and click subscribe so you don't miss the next one.